Welcome to the Place to Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Martha Blessing. I'm an energy intuitive, healer, spiritual channel, and a healing mentor and guide. I'm driven by the purpose of illuminating the potential in others to live their personal power, well-being, and sovereignty by connecting them to the truth within themselves. To explore my work or connect with me, you can visit marthablessing.com. If you feel called to support the podcast, please leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. I so appreciate your presence here, and I'm honored to serve as a guide or companion on your path. Now, on to the episode. You don't have a health problem. You have an energy problem. Your health, your well-being is a reflection of how you've managed your energy, because everything is energy. We are energetic beings. And if your health and well-being isn't where you want them to be, it's because you are mismanaging your energy. Now, the mismanagement can come through your thoughts, your attention, your emotions, your feelings, and what you put your focus on determines where your energy will go and flow. And where you have a symptom is determined by where you have a constriction in the flow of energy in your body and your being in your field. We know that thoughts are energy. We have EEGs, electroencephalograms, to measure the frequency of our thoughts. So we know that when we repeat a certain and same thought over and over again, it creates an identity and a frequency all of its own. And yes, we project that out into our field, and that becomes our MO and how we move through life, and people read our energy and bounce off our energies. But more importantly, it becomes the frequency that you internalize. Mismanaging your thoughts and your attention and your energy and where you put your focus, most of it has absolutely little to do with us. Quite honestly, it has little or nothing to do with us. But we ruminate in our minds about he said, she said, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that, our family, our siblings, our coworkers, right? We're letting it all pull us off from the time we're little infants and babies. Primarily, we are operating from old paradigms, programming from our schools, our churches, religion, families, schools, and media, all fear-based, none of it being the truth of what we are actually doing and being here as sovereign beings, as energetic spiritual beings. And we're fed this through generation after generation of anger and jealousy and fear and worry. With this episode of the podcast, I'm going to start to offer up 12 tips, 12 spiritual, esoteric, energetic principles that you can embrace and embody to change the reflection of how you manage your health and your energy. To change how you manage your energy, what you are putting your attention towards, and by default, it will change your frequency and change your health and well-being. So I'm actually not sure. I just was very inspired this morning when I came out of my stillness practice that this is what I wanted to bring forward in the podcast. I'll probably do a few episodes on this. So there'll probably be maybe part 1, part 2, part 3. I have been trying to shorten the podcast episodes a little bit. I don't use a script. I go with what's coming through at the time, and either what I channel in the morning that the guides say needs to come out for people to help at this point in time on that day, or I'm reflecting on something with client and case studies that can help benefit you. but I don't use a script. And so I was really inspired with this morning, and I'm trying to do, as I said, a little bit shorter version so that you can catch the snippets and get the information, then you can go back and integrate and listen. I want you to be able to have maybe 15, 20 minutes to listen. And I know sometimes we get busy and we don't. I'm fortunate that I have a life and a lifestyle where I've created, and I do a lot of my running and walking and exercising. So I get a whole hour to listen to a podcast, but I know a lot of people don't. They're driving in their car or whatever. So I'll start with at least 3 today. One of the things that's most important, if you're listening to the podcast, you are a person who is breaking barriers. You are wanting to, or in the process of breaking through old paradigms and barriers, and waking up and recognizing that you can take control and take charge of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic well-being, and that everything is a frequency. And so, oh gosh, when I came up through all of my first episode of healing of 10 years of daily chronic pain, there was no internet. So I didn't have all the influences, and it felt very lonely and scary and weird and confusing. And I didn't have anyone to talk to about it, didn't know what I was processing. And I had a lot of doubt and a lot of fear. I had a tendency to share things with people that I should never have shared those things with these people. I was looking for external validation. We do that a lot. We're not in our self-worth and self-esteem as we're going on this awakening and spiritual and energetic path. And now the opposite is true, where when I came through, there was nothing. Now there's so much. We don't even know sometimes where to look, where to go, what's the truth, who's going to help me. And it's overwhelming. And I have seen a lot of practitioners who think that they're doing good. I'm sorry, I guess it is a judgment, but they're actually not doing good because they aren't in alignment and they don't really know the truth. So they've done harm. Anyway, so my first of the 12 tips is, when you are on a spiritual path, unless you have a deep knowing and a trust with someone that is already on the path or ahead of you on the path, don't tell anyone about your mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic healing with people who can't understand it, because they are going to shut you down. They are going to tell you why it won't work, create more doubt in you, lower your frequency, and you won't be able to trust yourself. You won't be able to align with the truth inside of yourself. So when you are working on healing physical symptoms or ailments with a spiritual and energetic approach, don't tell people who can't understand it. You will make a little bit of progress and feel good and feel like it's working, but then you'll be scared. And when you do that and you talk to someone else, you actually break the connection and drain the power and energy that is building up in and around you in your field and in your mental equivalent and your vibration. As strange as it sounds, secrecy is an absolute essential to you building trust and a new vibration and frequency that is going to align with who and what it is that you truly are and what you desire. The second tip is, understand that you are not trying to make anything happen in your healing. This is a very confusing concept and principle for a lot of folks, but because in that 3D world of medicine and the idea of symptomology and diagnoses, we want to measure, like, take a pill, have this effect, right? Like, you take the codeine, the pain goes away. And that whole system is driven on making something happen. In the spiritual and the energetic approach, you are simply releasing whatever is the frequency that is holding you back from the well-being and healthy person that you already are. I talk about this, the law of polarity. There's another podcast on this. I'll leave the link in the show notes. Health and well-being is nothing more than 2 points on a continuum in space and time, which there is no space and time, it's just a continuum. So your illness is happening, your symptoms, your dis-ease is happening at the exact same time that your health and well-being is already here, divinely ordered and guided by source and intelligent substance and consciousness. It's already written in your DNA, your stars, whatever you want to call it. Like, you already are that healthy person. Your heart beats without you having to do anything. Your nails grow, your hair grows. Like, you don't have to make that happen. It already happens. So what you're doing in this process of this spiritual and energetic holographic healing is you are just aligning with that frequency that already exists in you as you, but you've been holding yourself back from it because of the beliefs and the thoughts and the emotions and the feelings that you've been holding in your body. You don't have to make the healing happen. It is already a part of your true nature. So allow the pressure and the intensity that the mind wants to, is it working? Is it working? Did it happen? Am I there yet? Let that go. Stop overthinking and see and picture yourself as the person who's already there. If you're going to think about anything, put your attention on it's already happened, because in actuality, it has. And by putting your attention on it already happened, you are using the principles of quantum science, healing, and mechanics. What you hold, manifesting is making something observable. So when you, it's bringing the observable into the 3D. So when you observe yourself as someone who is healthy, based on quantum laws and universal laws, it can't help but be true. And holding it in observation, looking at it, is what keeps it in the 3D, which is why the medical and pharmaceutical industries are keeping everyone sick, because they're putting all these commercials about check to see if this works for you, right? They're holding in place with all these ads illness. And it takes a strong soul with stamina to know that that's bullshit, and to stop watching and listening to that programming, and to hold the vision of you already having healed as your truth and reality, because it is already here. What got you here into the dis-ease was the mismanagement of your energy. And the last one I want to share with you is, as your energy begins to shift and change and materialize into well-being, do not go back to doubt and fear, but also do not get puffed up with spiritual pride. Like, I've seen that happen many, many times. And I want you to remember that you are not doing the work. You're doing the work, but you're not doing the healing. The work for you is shifting your attention so that your energy can move. That is your work. But the healing is happening through spiritual divine substance. When you are seeing and being the attention of who you are in spiritual intelligent substance, your divine self, your one mind, it is interpreting the fulfillment of your desires, and it is aligning you to that, back to your divine self. You are a channel and a vessel for this energy. You came in as divine intelligent substance and consciousness. You came from it. You incarnated through another being and body. But you are that. And the only thing that happened is you separated from that with where you put your attention. The fulfillment of you being in sovereign health was already predestined in intelligent substance. And you are the fulfillment of that desire of divine mind, one mind. You are a channel and vessel for the outpouring of the one mind, divine mind through you, energetically, spiritually, consciously. So keeping with my intention of creating a shorter podcast for you to get in tidbits, I am going to stop there for today. The next episode will go right into the next tips on how to manage your energy and course correct your energy, your thoughts, and your intention so that you can align with your divine health, sovereign health, and well-being. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Place to Be Free podcast. And if you liked what you heard and you want to know more, go to marthablessing.com/free stuff.